Not everyone that you see the eyes are open can see. Not everyone that you see has got the ears can hear well. These things of scamming, it's not in news. It is not of recent. We've been getting this information from other maids. We've been getting other information from social media on how people are being scammed, on how people are being taken their money and everything. But we've not been seeing, as if we've not been hearing this. So, if you're not in someone's shoes, you can't know what or how they feel. Not until you'll be in the same situation and you will get to know how it feels. No one will understand you when you start to narrate the story. No one will get what you're saying when you start to tell them to be careful with their money. No one even will listen, more so to those who are in deep love, more so to those who are in relationships. No one will understand what you are saying, not until when they be in the same shoes, in the same situation. That's when we will have to open our eyes and see. That's when we will open our ears wider to hear and to listen well. I used to hear these things, but I did not take or I did not even think that it will one time happen to me. Not until I also fit in the same shoes. So today I'm alerting so many, but still we will hear other stories after listening to this one. We will hear other people crying still that they have been robbed by strangers. It was me. It might be someone today or the next day. So let's keep sharing the information that can alert others or that can make others know what to do and how to be careful when it comes to money. So yesterday I stopped on how I was taken to a house which I expected to be my sweat, and at the end of it all I ended up being chased out of the house. I was chased by a stranger, still someone who came to claim that the house was his. So I had to get all my belongings and I had to get out of the house. I didn't know where to start from. I didn't know where to go. The 3 days that I spent in that house, I did not see the stranger again. The money I worked with all the sweat, with all my strength, and I gave it to a man I did not even spend one day with. So I had to get all my things. I had to go to the village where I found my mom lying on the mat. She was weak, she was sick, but when she saw me coming, she had little strength to at least hug me. At least she had hopes that maybe she was going to get well. But my mother didn't know that I have got nothing like a single coin in my pocket. But at least she had a smile. But inside me, I was bleeding. Though I did not tell my mother what happened, but at least I found my mom still alive, though she was weak and she needed medical attention. But I had no single coin with me by that time. I had nothing to do. Our neighbors saw me and they expected at least I'm going to take my mother to the hospital at least. But still, I had nothing I had nothing like where to start from because I was empty. My pockets were all empty. Whenever I could remember the sleepless nights, whenever I could remember the hard work I used to do, whenever I could remember the man I used to send, knowing that at least one time I will take my mom to a new house and we leave the leaking house. Then days passed. One of our neighbors came. She had to call me in a secret way. We had to talk secretly without telling my mom. She was asking me if I had got some medicine for her. Only tears rolled into my eyes. I had nothing to tell her. I had nothing to tell her, for real. But I was so hurt because I had nothing that could help me to take my mother to the hospital. The situation kept on worsening, but I had nothing to do. I tried to call up my relatives because when I was going, I had to tell them how I've gone to work. But they also expected me that maybe I will change that situation. Everyone was asking, the 3 years you've been abroad working, the 3 years you've been working, you can't tell us that you came with nothing that can help you to take your mother to the hospital. When you've been out, we've been here trying to help her. Now you have come, the responsibility is yours now. So, where is the money? And where have you been putting the money? If you've not been sending the money to your mother, so where have you put the money? I had nothing to say. But my mother, whenever I could look at my mother, I could just feel so sorry for myself. I had to one time get a call, a phone cell. I had to call the man. The man had to be open to me, that never to call him again. Never to call me again because I'm a married man. The whole thing we've been doing, I've used all the money and I did not expect you to come just like that. That's why I was telling you to at least extend more months so that you can get some money. I did not build the house. Even the pictures I've been sending them to you, they were for someone else's house. I did not build the house the way we planned. He told me that he was so sorry, but he used the money all and he had nothing to do with me because he was a married man and he had nothing at all to do with me. He had 3 children and a wife. That was the end of me and him. I lost all. I lost each and everything. This is how I gave out my little sweat to a married man whom I expected to be maybe my future husband. But of course I did not know. But my mother, who had no medicine, who had got no medication. This is how we normally say how I wish. But of course we always remember that word how I wish when we have already lost each and everything. It was another struggle for me and my mother in a leaking house, where we had nothing to eat because my mother was sick. By then I found nothing in the house. Apart from the few people around us who knew what happened and they could bring for us what to cook, they used to bring for my mom. Even they did not give up bringing by the time I came back home. Though they expected that maybe I've got something, but after knowing my story, they had to keep giving us the food. So this is how I started struggling in the village from nothing. I started going into people's gardens to dig so that I can get some money. I later collected some little which I used to take my mother to the hospital. How I wish I knew, but it was too late for me to correct my mistakes.